Hello, here's a quick video overview of my Parker MIDIFly. This is one of the original Parker MIDIFlies, came out in '99 I think it was. At the time, fantastic, but has the old MIDIAX system built in, which was great, but it was the end of the 90s, and obviously tech's come on a hell of a lot more since then. So I figured the other thing, as well as I play in drop D down to semitone most of the time, it wouldn't detect anything below a D, which is annoying because my bottom open note it wouldn't detect. And it's quite big, cumbersome power supply. You've got a phantom power it via its MIDI cable. You've then got a MIDI signal that you need to plug into your laptop and all the rest of it. Whereas what would suit me far more is the Fishman Tripleplay, which is all wireless. So, ta-da! What we have here is a Fishman Tripleplay, which I've taken the original buffer board that's on the back of the trem here. That buffers the piezo's. I since found in the first incarnation of this, it wasn't very good at tracking. So I've changed to the Graphtec ones because of what they're made of. So I've got a bit cold at the moment, so I'm a bit bunged up. Because they've got a kind of smoother sound, the Graphtec ones, all of a sudden it tracks loads better now. I've changed them, so hence why it's in bits. I thought I'd quickly do this video. So that's slightly different. They've got a ground and a signal for each of those piezos. So all I've done is just common together. Probably can't see it in there, it's a bit dark. All of the blue ground wires to just a common point on the back of the trem there. Signals to them go in. That then comes out this feed here. So it buffers each of them individually, but it also mixes together the signals on this board to give you your acoustic sound. That then comes down this ribbon cable, this cable bundle. It used to then go straight to, well, one of the wires went to the Fishman, the piezo acoustic circuit, and the rest of it went to the MIDIAX system. Well, what I've done here is, I'll try not to pull this to bits too much, but under here, that is, move it nearer the light, you can see a bit better. That under there is still the Fishman piezo acoustic bit, so one of the signals goes there. But also here, this is a whole load of little 10k pots set up as attenuators, which then attenuate the buffered signal from here, which then makes them the correct level, which I've got a header. This is where the Fishman Tripleplay, normally its magnetic pickup goes into. So that goes into here. This is the actual board taken out of the big plastic thing that you normally strap on the front of your guitar. That ruins my feng shui of my lovely looking guitar. So that goes on there. Also the D-pad controller that's normally on the front of it. Obviously I want to access that. So what I've done is I've wired lots of tiny wires coming off the points where those buttons are. The buttons are still actually in place, but because they're push to make buttons, I just push to make them in parallel with the button effectively, so I wasn't going to try and desolder them. But these here, all the D-pad wires coming out here, I've super glued on a little bit of breadboard to the circuit so that I can solder on easily, because it would just be a nightmare and you'd just break the thing all the time and make it too fragile. So if I just tried to solder directly on the tiny points of the buttons. So this is effectively the D-pad controls, which you short the right pairs of them together and it goes down, goes up, goes enter, exit, and all that. This is the power switch. There's also somewhere, I don't want to pull this out much as you might want to see it. I don't want to bugger the thing up. It should all be quite good when it's all in position, but I don't want to go wiggling around all its innards all as much as any more than you want to and need to. So that's that part. Oh, the volume knob here, that's been desoldered. There used to be the MIDI volume for the Fishman Tripleplay here. Also the USB charge port, I've got a little short extension lead on there. And basically, I've brought those out to this new end plate, which you used to have. I wonder if I've got it handy. Sod it, just have a look. Look it up if you want to know what the original plate looked like. But it's basically got the guitar jack, which is, that's got the Parker smart sensing, the Fishman system. So you plug in a mono jack, it will mix your piezo, acoustic sound together with your magnetic pickups, or if you plug a stereo jack in there, it splits it out to stereo, so you can send them to different amps. That's still exactly the same, but with one caveat that I'll get to in a bit. I think that's a USB charge light. I can't actually remember what I put in there. I couldn't. It would seem too fiddly at the time to get there's one of them, the original Fishman Tripleplay's got a two colour light on it. I thought, sod it, don't really need that. Too fiddly to do. USB charge port, and then here I've got that's the wireless pairing port for the Fishman system, broken out to there. So obviously I can then fine tune all of these little pots to get the right levels in the software, and then I haven't really prepared this video, I'm just doing it for the fun of it. So one thing, obviously this is a wireless system. I've cut a hole vaguely where the antenna is. I've also put on other stuff. I'm going to short out all the other gubbins. Doesn't seem to make it harm anymore with a hole in it. I mean, guitar shielding's going to always have a bit of a limited effectiveness if you study the laws of electromagnetic shielding. But it is a bit of a worry. But as long as I haven't played any gigs underneath any railway tracks or anywhere with massive magnetic emissions. But it seems, well, this isn't ferrous anyway, so it won't do any good against magnetic emissions, only electromagnetic ones. So anyway, cut a hole in there. I think, underneath there as well, you've got the 3.5 volt, I think it is, lithium battery that gets charged with this. All the piezo system is still running off the Fishman, the original Fishman stuff, so I have the 9 volt battery in there as well. So if I pop this on, excuse me whilst I one-handedly put this back together. Don't think there's anything exciting. Oh, another thing I did whilst I was there, if you know what Parker wiring normally looks like, the Fishman circuit board for the piezo sound is normally at a totally different angle and comes off the back of a regular pot. I fitted it onto, there's a push-pull pot here as well, because I'm trying to shoehorn far too many things in here. So I will explain why there's an extra push-pull pot there in a second. So if I bear with me, whilst I quickly stick a couple of screws in this, all its innards falling out the back whilst I go. Just pop a couple of screws in for now. Now then. So what I've got here is, if I flip it over, we have normal volume pot as usual. One of the things, if you know about Parkers and Parker MIDIFlies, they have, because of the smart switching for the piezo, and whether you got stereo or mono jack, it buffers the output. Generally, buffers can be a good thing. Sometimes though, I mean, I've got like a Zvex Fuzz Factory. Fuzz factories and various other kind of vintage fuzz faces, they don't like buffered outputs. They want a lovely passive one where it can use all your guitar electronics as part of the circuit, and you can change the self-oscillating with your knob and how fuzzy it is and all the rest of it. So a lot of the time, great as MIDI and all the rest of it and acoustic sounds are, a lot of the time I just like playing this as a bog standard magnetic only guitar. So I've done a mod that I've done to all of my Parkers, which is when it's wired normally, all of them I've swapped the piezo volume for push-pull pot. So I have it, so when that's pushed in, it's like a totally normal passive guitar, passive output, works fine with fuzzes, no problems there. But if I pull out that push-pull pot, now it's effectively converted it to regular standard Parker wiring, where all of a sudden the smart switch jack works. It buffers it when you've if you're mixing the two signals together for a mono sound, all the rest of it. So there's absolutely nothing lost. I can have it exactly as original Parker, but push that in, hooray! It's, if the whole thing's dead, there's no batteries, whatever, it's just bog standard great guitar mode. So that's one mod with this. That means this here's the selector normally, which is Ford's is magnetic. That's both, either both mixed together or both split, depending whether you've got stereo jack in. That's piezo's only. When that button's pushed in and I've turned off all the piezo stuff, then it acts as a kill switch. So hooray, I can have other kill switch fun with it as well. So that's that. The over here, these are all how the original controls looked on the original MIDIFly. The only difference is I've changed these to momentary knobs, so momentary switches, because they used to be octave up, octave down, and then mode as to how the MIDI channels worked and whether it allowed bends or not. I have changed mine, so it now does. Let me just quickly rustle you up the MIDI, the Fishman Tripleplay thing. If I pull that, oh hang on, I've got it turned on. Maybe I should explain the on switch first. The only thing that's not standard on here is this, which I've drilled in exactly the same place as where an original earlier Nightfly would have one of its stereo mono switch. But yeah, so I've put that in there. That means without a guitar jack in, or whatever I want it, if I flip that on, that turns on the Fishman system and also powers up the 9-volt battery, which does all the acoustic sound, because obviously I need the piezo circuits powered up to run them with the Fishman. So flip that on, and then over here, well, if I show you these, if I pull them, oh no, and push it, pull it, which way is it? I hardly ever use this bloody thing. You can then use that to go in and out the menus. I think, where's it gone? Yeah, there we are. So then I can use my controls. That there, you can see the little asterisk going up and down, and I can go in and out of the menus. So if I use these, I can then change patch. So these are, they're basically all wired up to have new uses. I've also got MIDI volume here, so if I play that, hurrah, volume. So basically, oh, the other thing I did whilst I was doing all that, since I had in bits, got a set of bare knuckles. So I got bare knuckle nail bomb, a pair of Irish Tours, and also I've put in a super switch. So, and done it like the SIR type wiring. So as you may know, humbuckers generally sound best with 500k pots. That's what you get in a Gibson or something. Strats normally have 250k pots. What happens is the 250k pots, where it's a lower resistance to ground, in the circuit, it effectively adds loading to the pickups that rolls off a bit of the top end and stops single coils being too brittle sounding. So 250Ks are generally preferred for single coils. 500Ks, if you use 250K on a humbucker, can be a bit muddy. So what they do in Sir guitars, and what I've done in this, is that when it's switched there's extra resistors it switches in here. So effectively this sees 500K loading on the humbucker there. As soon as I start going to the other ones, which are split humbucker with single coils, or any of the single coil combinations, that is got 250k loading. So all the joys of Strat wiring or Gibson type wiring, depending what pickup you're using. And synth volume, patch up and down, and it's the lovely playing, sounding Parker MIDIFly based MIDIFly, carbon wrap neck, carbon glass fingerboard, hardened stainless frets. Sounds bloody lovely. This mahogany, lovely sparkly pickguard. Delicious. And yeah, it doesn't have any of the Fishman triple play pickup here. I used to find gets in the way of my hand a bit. It would also limit how low I could get the action on this. All comes straight out of the piezos. Still got my buttons on the end. So what's not to like? It's got all the joy and class of the original MIDIFly, the heritage of the original MIDIFly, but it's got wireless MIDI. It's got a 2010s era system, which easily chargeable up. No phantom powering. Splendid. I hope you like that. I hope that might have inspired you to waste ridiculous amounts of your life building guitars like this, like I have too. So I'm going to stop pissing around filming it and go and do some playing. Toodaloo, have a good day.